Welcome back to the Somebody Studios YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to talk to you about a tool which I use regularly when it comes to making illustrations on our channel, as well as for our clients or anyone like that. So one of the tools that I use a lot of is the brush tool. So you'll find it over here on the left hand side in the paintbrush tool, and the short key for that is B, right? And if you can't see it, just right click on it. So you will have the paintbrush tool, blob brush tool, and then the pencil tool. We're just going to talk about the paintbrush tool today. So paintbrush tool, as the name says, it just helps us to draw any line and shape in any way we want, just like we would use it for any other purpose. You can use it to draw flowers, just like this. Make sure you exit out of the fill tool. There you go. You can use it to draw flowers. You can use it to draw clouds. And by the way, I'm just using this through my mouse. I mean, not using a tablet. And you can also adjust how accurate your brush strokes are by double clicking on it. Then you can see under fidelity, you can either go a very accurate, so it will give you the lines as you draw them, or you can go for smooth, which will give you a more smoothed out look for all these curves that you're making. And I think it's a great way to make your designs look a bit more organic rather than using the pen tool. You can also adjust the width if you like, but right now I'm just gonna go for like a medium fidelity. And then you can just draw anything. You can draw a nose, you can draw some eyes, you can draw a smile, you can draw curly hair. Oh, sorry, you can draw a face first. Then you can draw a neck. You can draw shoulders. You can draw anything you want, okay? And then, as you can see, because we have it a bit more smoothed out, it's giving it a bit more soft look without taking away too much from the way I'm drawing my organic strokes. So yeah, I think it's a great tool, especially if you know how to use it well. And what Adobe allows you to do is it has so many brushes that are pre-existing. So let me show you. If you go, once you have brush tool selected, you can go here on the right hand side, and there's the brush option available. So you can either select some of the tools that you have already used before, just like this. So you will have anything that you have used before for any other illustration will be available here. But you can also click here, and then you'll have all your brushes that Adobe allows you to use on here. And then you can also add more brushes to it. In today's video, I'm just going to show you what kind of brushes they have, and how we can make some custom brushes if you like. And then maybe later on I can also show you how, if you want to just make an illustration using that, you can do that too. But another great thing about this is that, let's say you made a shape, right? Just let's say we made a rectangle, and for our stroke, you want to remove the fill, and then you want to have a stroke, which I'm gonna increase the width for. So you have this uniform stroke that we have used. But if you go on window and then brush, then you can just select any of these strokes that you like, right? And let's say this one, and it changes the stroke style to the one that you have in your brushes. So honestly, I think it's one of a really great way to just go about changing the line style of any of your artworks. And if you want to do something a bit more like organic looking, if you don't want it to look too uniform, then you can go forward with these. So like this one, this is very stylized and drawn, and you can do that with a lot of other illustrations that we have done. I'm going to specifically talk to you about how you can make custom brushes, and we're going to go forward with two brushes that I've saved, and that's an acrylic brush and a watercolor brush. Okay, so if we put it here, this is an image I found on Google, and I really like how, you know how with acrylics you have this kind of texture, and sometimes you want to put that kind of texture on your illustrations, or you want to use that to paint something on your illustration. So this is one of the ways I would do this. So go on object, and then go on image trace, then click make. And now on the right hand side, you'll see this image trace option. Click on this dialog box, and then you'll have this whole thing appear for you, unless this is only if you don't have it appear automatically. So what I will do first is increase the threshold to see how this looks. I want to get as close to my original shape as possible. Okay, I just want to get that texture on my brush. because I like to use the brush tool to get a bit more organic look to a lot of my paintings. So let's say you do that. You can also use these kind of thicker brushes to just do painting, and it will look really organic. At the end, what you can do once you have your shape ready, you can keep one version as like a test file or like a draft file, and when you are using it in any of your artworks, you can rasterize it so you can use it anywhere you want. And because it's all vectors, you can increase or decrease the size without losing any of your quality. So let me increase the number of paths, bring the noise to 1, so we have the maximum amount of noise. What I'm going to do in this one is I'm just going to play around with how many paths I have, how many corners my image trace has. So what image trace does is makes a vector version of the image that we have provided to Adobe. Oftentimes you can add as much detail or as little detail you want to it. So for this one, I will add like a medium amount of detail. So let's say I'll leave it at 149, and then I will click on ignore color, so it ignores any of the white backgrounds that we had gotten. So let's select this, and then what I'm going to do is go on object and then expand it. So once you've expanded it, now it's a shape on its own. You can increase the size, you can decrease the size, you can make this thicker, you make it thinner. I'm going to decrease the size of this. I'm going to zoom in and make sure you have it selected. Then go on window, then brushes, and then under brushes just click on this plus option. So now this is going to be a new brush, and I'm going to put it as an art brush. Let's click here, and then you can vary the shape of your brush or how you use the brush. So let's say if you want the width of it to be fixed, you can leave it as fixed, but you can have it change based on the pressure. If you're using a stylus, you can do that as well. I'm going to leave it as fixed, and I'm going to leave it as scale proportionally, because I do like to have that kind of option. And I'm going to keep the direction from left to right. And this colorization though, make sure you change it to tint. So if you change any colors, it will show up in your image trace, the new brush. And then I'll just press OK. Okay, so now you'll see at the end of your brushes, you'll have this new option available. I'm going to go back to my artboard. I'm going to move this away, and I'm going to select my new brush, and then I'm going to just draw. So you see how this new brush gives me the ability to make really interesting designs and shapes. So once you have your brush tool selected, select your new brush and just make strokes like this. So you see it gives you that kind of organic look. Once you select all these curves, you can just go and change the opacity. If you want to use it as a texture, you can do that. So this is just an easy way that you can use this to create new custom brushes, and you can do it with any shape. You don't have to just do with the watercolors or anything like that. So let me do it with the next one. Okay, so next one is our watercolor brush, and I'm going to do the same thing that we had done before. What I want to preserve is these harsh lines around the shape, and then just keep a bit of a graininess. Okay, so we're going to go object, image trace, make. Right, and then go on properties, and you have to click on this menu again because for some reason it doesn't show up for me. And then what I'm going to start off with is increasing the threshold. And then I will decrease the noise. Decrease the size of the noise, just right here. So I'm liking this kind of look. I might also decrease some of the paths, and also on the corners. And then I'm going to click on ignore color. So ignores the background color of my object. So you can just, if the background color is different, just make sure that you click on the dropper tool and then select it. So we'll just ignore that color, and then you can go on object and then expand. So you have created your shape now. So you see it has graininess around it. It's a bit darker on the sides, but you can obviously adjust it. So again, as we had done before, I'm going to click on plus under the brushes option, and then click on art brush and click OK. Yeah, as you like, you can adjust any of the settings and then make sure that you change it to tint, and I'm gonna press OK. And then again, just as we had done before, go on brush tool, change to stroke, and then here we're just gonna see what it looks like. So double click on this brush, and then you can just change the, let's say if you don't want the edges to get too stretched out, you can just stretch it till here, so only the middle part gets stretched out. Or you can also just do scale proportionally, which let's do it, and then you can apply the strokes and see if that works better for you. So once we have the scale proportionally, anytime you make something bigger, it will have to scale it accordingly so the shape doesn't get ruined. Another thing you can do is just stretch between guides, and then what you can do is make these guides in between the end bits of your shape, and then press OK, then apply 2 strokes. So what it will do is preserve the shape of your edges, but then will stretch out some of the areas around this. So yeah, you can just do that. You can have your shape ready anytime. You can decrease the size of this and it will have that kind of effect. Another thing, because we chose tint, so if you click on this and if you want to change this to blue, you can easily do that. Oh, sorry, my Illustrator sometimes just crashes out. Okay, gonna select blue. So yeah, you see we have selected blue. It changes the color of the blue. Similarly, you can select any other color. Let's say pink. For this one I want to go for teal. For this one I want to go for yellow, which you can't see, so I'll move it. There you go. So yeah, and then you can leave this as black. And then another thing which would be really fun, so let's say you have already made this shape with your brush tool, you can go right click on this and then click on the pencil tool, and then you can just move this shape around and then just do it as you like, just in case if you are already in between something. And I will make another video about the pencil tool, but what it does is extend the line that you already have created, so you don't have to make multiple lines on top. And if that's what you want to do for your illustration, that's a great way to do that. But if you want to just add another stroke to it, you can just do that as well by using another brush tool and just click on it. But yeah, this is like an introduction to our brush tool and how we can make custom brushes. So yeah, let me know what you think of this, and if you want me to show you how you can make other custom brushes, but it will be similar. So what you can do is, like, you know how in Photoshop you will make a shape, let's say you want to make grass and you make that as a brush, then you can use that for your illustration, so you don't have to make grasses all the time. You can make different variations of grass. Similarly, you can do that with trees as well, how we have always done in like Photoshop, in Procreate, or any other drawing software. You can do that here as well, and it will be in vector format. There will be some limitations obviously, but we can work around with it and make your illustrations look even more interesting. So yeah, let me know what you think of this video, and if you liked, let me know what you'd like to see next. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you later. Okay, bye bye.